too, because some people, when you contact them, they're like, I really want to come and I'll do anything you want me to, but I don't want to have to judge. But we have, over 100 people who have accepted that responsibility. So, would like to thank them as well. Our preliminary rounds are held in our school buildings prior to the Great Galesburg Shake, and we usually always say that we start with 120 students, which actually is false, because actually we start with many, many other students in our district, but we have to cut the number who actually come to the Great Galesburg Shake. So my school alone had 76 students who tried out for the Great Galesburg Shake, but only 12 could actually participate. So we start there, and we have those rounds at our individual schools, but then we have round one. And round one this year was revamped, so it was more of a work the room setting. And so students really kind of had a little bit more decision making to make. And so they chose which judges they engaged with. They chose when it was time to move on, which of course was much different for them. So some of them were practicing those skills prior to, but some just practiced at that point in time as well. We had over 80 community members there as judges just for round one. And then we went from 120 students to 24. Round two has become fondly known as the Gauntlet, which entails the students working through 12 scenarios in which they must think on their feet and show their own personalities. A few examples from this year are the students are working in a retail store and a customer walks in to return a pair of shoes without a receipt, which of course is against their policy. So they had to deal with an almost irate customer. They also had the opportunity to have a conversation with our school superintendent, Dr. Asplin. They could ask him anything they wanted to. That was pretty exciting. And then the students were also put in the position of being a school secretary. And they had to handle the phone, and an angry parent, and student needing Band-Aids, and a teacher who needed the copy machine fixed, and all those kinds of things. And I think they really went away with a great appreciation for our school secretaries, and most said they never wanted to do that job again. So we went from 24 to 12. And then in round three, we had the great fortune of Cindy Arthur and the Carl Sandburg College Tech Department provide us with a brand new experience. And it was pretty exciting and pretty difficult all at the same time. The students were given a cold read of a script from a teleprompter, and then they were videoed. They were then, to use expression and body language to portray what they were reading. And of course, this all happens at the same time that they're reading. And then the students had the opportunity to edit with the assistance of Cindy and her team. The judges came in and evaluated just their video work, and then there were 8. Round 4, we went to the Kensington, which hosted a wonderful event in their ballroom, allowing the top 8 and many community guests to dine in style. The 8 also had to give a brief presentation prior to their final judging. And then there were 5. And at this time, I would like the top 5, your top 5, to come forward. Please, let's give them a round of applause. To New York City, where they had some wonderful experiences. For round 5, the students met with Mr. John Simpkins, who was a GHS graduate and currently an executive with American Express, and his title is Global Director, PMO of Sustainability, whatever that means. John provided the top 5 with a tour of the building, which houses 3,300 employees. In fact, during our tour, we met a woman in the elevator. And the girls got right to work. Of course, everyone that they meet, they shake hands and introduce themselves and discuss why they're in New York City. The woman ended up being Denise Pickett, who is the American Express's Chief Risk Officer and was a previous president of U.S. Consumer Products. And when John followed up with her about our chance meeting in the elevator, she said she certainly remembered the girls and was impressed with how articulate they were. And she also wrote, and I'm going to laminate it, "Go Galesburg, go." After the tour, the students were whisked off to lunch to meet with John, as well as Ed Sifoni, the Global VP Design Construction Facilities Management person, Robert Borden, Global VP Workplace Services, Miriam Conan, Global Director of Corporate CSR and Sustainability, and Pamela Zimmerman, Manager Workplace Services. It was quite an impressive group. All of them spoke about how soft skills are the most important skills for a quality workplace. They will take you far. Each of the top 5 met individually with each of the top-notch executives, and John stated afterwards, every girl was ranked as number 1 by someone different on the judging team. So each connected well with at least one person. Their ratings were all very close, but Mackenzie and JaCara squeaked it into the top 2 finalist spots. So congratulations, Mackenzie and JaCara. And then yesterday, we thought American Express, that was pretty awesome. We did. And then yesterday, the top 5 visited the Viacom Corporation, which encompasses Nickelodeon, Nick Jr., Paramount, MTV, and many more. It was a pretty exciting day. We toured all the different floors and saw real people at work producing shows. Michelle Espin Glenn, one of the producers, and Shannon Crawford were our guides. The top 5 even had to write their own short storyboards and presented them to the group. Then the top 2 were interviewed by Michelle and other Viacom executives who will be named shortly. They're actually in my sealed envelope, their names, so I can't tell you who they are yet, but I will in a little bit. It needs to be stated that this is the youngest group in Great Galesburg Shake history to make it to the top 5. The past 3 years, seniors have won, which won't happen this year because this year, and raise your hand when I'm talking about you, we have 1 6th grader.
Oh,
She kept us on our toes, just so you know. 2 8th graders. And 2 freshmen. These girls also, as you can tell, shut out all the boys. They were determined from the start to do a fantastic job, and all 5 has succeeded. So at this time, I'm going to let them have the floor for a few minutes, and we're going to start with our 8th grader, Miss Lily McNally.
Hi, I'm Lillian McNally. Like she said, I'm an 8th grader, and I attend Lombard Middle School. I'd like to start out with some thank yous. I'd like to thank the Galesburg Shake Committee, the Shake's many wonderful sponsors, our 4 chaperones, especially for finding a way to make a 17-hour bus trip to New York fun, and for putting up with us throughout it. And last but not least, the Galesburg community. Without one very special member of our community and former GHS graduate, Mr. John Simpkins, Global Director of Program Management and Sustainability at American Stress World Headquarters, Round 5 would not have been possible. He had us eat and talk to him and 4 or 5 other members of his team, then taking us down to our top 2 spots. What really stood out to me, though, was something that Mr. Simpkins told us. He said that sometimes we younger people who are starting to think about what we would like to do in life get into this mentality that there are only 10 or so possible jobs out there for us to pursue. But if you have your qualifications and soft skills, you can get almost any job you desire. The next day, we went to Nickelodeon Studios, and I had the privilege of meeting Shannon Crawford, an animator and designer for Nickelodeon. After talking with her, I remembered something else Mr. Simpkins had stressed: making connections and networking in the business world. So now I not only have a connection with someone with my dream job all the way in New York, but a mentor. This proves that the Great Galesburg Shake is more than just a handshake. On our way to New York, we took time to package your donations, such as toiletries, socks, and chapstick, into some gallon-sized Ziploc baggies to hand out as care packages to some of the homeless people around New York. We took our time out of this bus ride, and we kind of went down in a bucket brigade type thing, stealing all of them and getting them ready for us to hand out. Here to talk to you a little bit more about that is Miss Olivia Owen. I gotta get my stool. All right.
Hello, my name is Olivia Owen. I'm in 6th grade at Churches Junior High. I have done the Great Galesburg Shake for 3 years. And so first I'd like to thank everybody that helped out to make our New York City trip possible. Like Lily said, thank you for all the donations for the care packages for the homeless. We made them up on the bus ride up. It was a very long bus ride. It made me feel good that I was helping out someone that was homeless. One of our first nights that we were in New York City, we saw a whole line of people that were lined up to get food that were homeless, and so we tried to get out as many care packages as we could. From the Great Galesburg Shake, I have grown in my soft skills, and talking with businesses, I have learned that soft skills are very important, not just in business, but also in social situations. One of my favorite memories from the Great Galesburg Shake was when we were on the bus ride home on Tuesday, and we started singing on the bus. And before you ask, we are great singers. One of my educational memories was when we went to the American Express. It was very fascinating to learn about what other people did and how they did their different jobs. I would like to give a thank you to Jonathan Simpkins, who showed us around all day around American Express. I had a conversation with Jonathan Simpkins about if he could change one big picture about his job, what it would be. He said he would change how people look at American Express. He would change it to focus more on local businesses, and he wants people to buy more from local businesses. So if you bought from like a fresh market or a farmer's market, you'd get like double credit card points. I'd like to thank our chaperones because they put up with us for like ever. It's a great thing. And so now I would like to introduce the funny, the incredible Natalie Nelson.
Hello everyone, my name is Natalie Nelson and I'm a freshman at GHS this year. I would like to start off by thanking the whole community for everything they do for the Shake. Whether you've donated financially or contributed your time and efforts, it's so greatly appreciated because without you we couldn't have done this Shake. Also, I'd like to thank the Great Galesburg Shake Committee. They put on this wonderful experience year after year, and it's a great thing for the kids in District 205. I know they've already started planning for next year, so thank you guys so much. Also, I'd like to thank the 4 chaperones who accompanied us on this trip because they gave us such a safe, exciting, and educational experience. So besides going to New York and having an incredible time, we also learned a whole lot. So I obviously progressed my soft skills through just talking to New Yorkers and through the competition, but I learned so much more than that. I learned that New Yorkers, the stereotype about them is totally untrue. They are so nice and they're amazing people who helped us navigate through the streets of New York. Also, we just got to see and witness the melting pot of culture there. We saw different languages being spoken and the different people. It was a great thing to witness. One of my favorite educational memories was visiting the 9/11 Memorial. Since I was born after the 9/11 attacks took place, I never realized the magnitude it had in our country until I got to visit the place that it happened. Just seeing the buildings where they stood and hearing the eyewitness accounts from the survivors, it was just a really impactful experience, I think, for all of us. Especially seeing the different artifacts, it really made us sink in. Overall, New York was a wonderful opportunity. I'm so grateful to have been a part of it. I'm so thankful to all the people who helped make it happen because it's such an amazing experience for the children of District 205, and it really prepares them for the real world and gives us great life skills. So here is a top 2 finalist, Miss Mackenzie Musser.
Hello, I'm Mackenzie Musser, and I'm an 8th grader at Churchill Junior High School. I participated in the Great Galesburg Shake for the past 4 years. Throughout the past 4 years, I've advanced in my soft skills. This was my first year making it to the top 5 of the Great Galesburg Shake, let alone making it to the top 2. But to achieve this goal, I never gave up. So I encourage others who have not made it this far to continue on going with the Shake because you never know what can happen with the Shake. There was a lot of surprises. Going to New York City was my favorite part, but I loved going to see the Broadway show Wicked. I have always wanted to see a Broadway show. In all, I enjoyed the view from the Empire State Building and having this time with all the girls and Mr. V, of course. I cannot forget when Miss McNally convinced a group of girls that we were famous walking out of Nickelodeon. But overall, I would like to give a huge thank you to the Great Galesburg Shake Committee and the Galesburg District 205 community for all of the hard work and effort that they put in to make this Great Galesburg Shake possible, and we could not have done it without you. So here is JaCara Kelley to tell you more about our New York City experience.
So first of all, I'd like to thank the Academy, all of the producers, our editors. Oh wait, never mind, sorry. I think the lights of New York really caught up to me being gone for 20 minutes. So as she said, my name is JaCara Kelley, and I'm a 9th grader at Galesburg High School. This is actually my first year doing the Great Galesburg Shake, so not only am I a freshman in high school, but I'm a freshman to the competition. New York is always a place I've always dreamed of going. It's one of those things that when you're in a small town, you always dream of going to the big city and seeing all the lights and all of the productions and things like that. But my absolute favorite part, and I think anyone can agree of how my face lit up when we walked in, was going to see the New York headquarters of Nickelodeon. I know it's kind of a childish thing, and even though I'm the oldest out of the group, even by a month, I think I was probably in my most childlike state walking in. See, talking to people who are producers and editors of some of my favorite shows as a kid is something that I will never forget. And especially learning about how soft skills and manners can get you through the business community, and especially in a thing like that I've never even thought about doing in my entire life, is something that I will absolutely never forget. We've talked to editors and producers and animators that I couldn't even have believed that so much work went into the things that I loved as a kid, or how much work that they put in every day to make things that seem so tedious and almost stupid come to life. So I just want to give a big shout out to our chaperones, Mrs. V, especially Mrs. V and Miss Sandstrom, for planning rounds 5 and 6. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Miss Crawford and Miss Aspen for showing us around Nickelodeon and giving us a little sneak peek into MTV and showing us where they filmed TRL. And I'd also like to thank any committee, person in the community, or being that gave any money, gave any support to this amazing program, because I've never really been into this type of stuff, but this is something that I will never forget. So thank you for listening to all of our spiels about our trip.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why they're part of the top 5. So, okay. I would like to share with you that these students before you represented Galesburg extremely well. They were personable, professional, warm, and engaging, and most of all showed resilience and perseverance. They put their heart and soul into competing, but also cared about and supported their fellow Shakers. They were an amazing group to travel with. We're getting to the point, last page, I promise, that we need to reveal the Shake winner, but I must tell you that the judges across rounds 5 and 6 had a very difficult time. In fact, the judges for round 6 came out to Mrs. Sandstrom and said it was a tie. And she said, get back in there, because we can't have a tie. So I wanted the top 5 to know that Michelle reached out to Barb today and sent a follow-up message. And she said, I just wanted to send a quick note. Yesterday was an absolute pleasure meeting you all. The girls were extraordinarily professional and carried themselves like true young adults. It's clear how they're your finalists. Picking between the top 2 girls was an extremely difficult, in caps, all caps, decision for myself and my team. Both girls displayed exemplary attitudes, poise, and behavior. They delivered their creative pitches with full confidence, maintained eye contact, and demonstrated the abilities of quick thinking and working well under pressure. In the end, we had to choose, and the demeanor of one in particular stood out just a tiny bit more. So let's find out who the judges were for round 6. I get to finally open this envelope that I've had in my little possession for a very long time, it seems. So let me find, oh goodness. I gotta find the judges first. Oh, la, la, la. Okay. Okay. All right. So there was Katie Yen, Jennifer Trouting, Shannon Crawford, and Michelle Espen were the judges for that. Okay. And girls, as we've talked a few times over our trip, you've represented yourself, your family, your school, your district, and community, all very, very, very well. I don't think we could have asked more of you. So I want to remind the winner, we have a plaque that will be going up in the district school office that will have your name engraved on it, which is awesome. You also will receive your district Chromebook that will be engraved with your name, so you won't have possession of that for a few days until that's established, and then we'll go from there. Okay. And then afterwards, there's a few people who do want to interview the winner, so I usually forget those things, so I'm going to say that quickly here. Okay, your 2018 Great Galesburg Shake winner is JaCara Kelley.
Hello.
Thanks. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started, I made plans this weekend, not thinking I was gonna make the final 5 at all. So
I'm glad you changed your plans.
Yeah. This is something I'll never ever forget doing, and I've never even thought about getting this far in a competition at all, ever. But I really just want to say, Mackenzie, you are an amazing person, and I'm literally so honored that I got to go to the top 5 with you.
Oh, thank you.
And especially with these 3, 2 of them making it to the top 5 twice, which is crazy to me. And little Olivia, who I've known for several years, and she every day makes me more and more proud of what she does. So yeah, thank you again.
Live your life as a Great Galesburg Shake 2018 winner. Okay, let's do a group hug over here and get some pictures. Okay, come here, my friends, and congratulate your winner. Okay, girls, can we have you come up here? We'll take a quick photo, and then we'll get JaCara. They're used to photo ops. We do this to them all the time. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Okay, JaCara, can I have you by yourself for a moment? Do you want me to get to the flowers? Yes. We'll have you stand right here. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to come close. Not that close.
Those jeans are so pretty.
Okay.
Stay right there.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Got it.
Okay. Yes, you can go ahead.
If I could grab everybody's attention really fast. So, sorry, I'm going to start crying because this was really a great opportunity for all of us to go to New York with these amazing people, with all of the people from the committee. And so we have gifts for you guys. So, all of the Great Galesburg Shake Committee. So, here. Miss Kavanaugh.
Miss Kavanaugh? Mrs. Brennemeyer?
Mrs. Lingenfelter.
Mrs. Sturgis?
She's here somewhere.
Miss Powell.
Miss Powell.
Miss McNally.
Miss Craddy?
Miss Ayton.
Craddy!
Come on down.
Normal.
Mr. and Mrs. B.
I would never leave with you.
Miss Gravel.
She's not here probably.
She's not here.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Miss Sandstrom. And Mrs. Haynes.
Or Hayes, the Hayes, yeah. Here she goes. If I could really quickly, one group of people that gets left out.
Here she goes.
Our families kind of get put on the back burner during the shake, so I think we as a committee would like to all thank our families for putting up with us during this time and supporting it. So thank you to all of you.